become the moth in search of the flame. You must be just like the moth, whose attention has been completely arrested by the flame. You must be like the moth, who only cares about this one sole desire, to know the flame. The moth, in its desire to know the flame, comes closer and closer and closer to the flame until its desire brings it within the flame, and the flame engulfs the moth. The moth becomes the flame. On the journey to achieve your goals, you must be like the moth and allow your goal to completely arrest your attention. You must live inside of your goal until your goal engulfs you, like the fire did the moth. And in doing so, you will become the goal. You will become the being who is the goal. Now, let me explain this, because you must not set a goal to get somewhere. You gotta set a goal to move from somewhere. You have to live within your goal and then move from the perspective of your goal. In consciousness, as you place your attention on the feeling that you already have what you want, and that feeling grows to crowd all other ideas out of consciousness. In turn, you are just like the moth, whose attention is fixed on the flame. And as it becomes closer to the flame, it becomes the flame. You will become the feeling of your goal. Everything that feeling implies will be realized. I understand I'm speaking in a sort of philosophical way, and it might not completely be making sense. So if I were to say it in layman's terms, in simple terms, you become what you think about. And quite literally, you will die to your previous self while your attention is fixated on this new thing. And this could be in any which way. It could be in a positive way, a negative way, or in a different way. Where you constantly leave your attention, you will become that thing. You will become it. So why not place your attention on a goal that you wish, that is filled with joy, bliss, and ease? Why not place your attention on a goal that is filled with mutual benefit, integrity, and respect? What could happen if you became like the moth in search of the flame? And becoming the flame, you achieve your goals, becoming your goals. Listen, I know I'm speaking in sort of a philosophical way. I know. But what I'm imploring you to do is dwell on your goal until you feel the reality of it. Because the reason why this is so important is if you can feel it, you will achieve it. If you could only feel like a millionaire, you will become a millionaire. If you were only to feel like a triathlon athlete, you will become one. If you were to only feel like a Grammy Award winner, you will become one. You will become the essence of what you feel. It is through feeling that our lives are shaped. The continuous, constant feeling that we entertain on a daily basis is what creates our life. Don't believe it? Look where the evidence is shown. Within others and within yourself. It's amazing what happens when somebody can capture the feeling of the goal that they want. You will follow unconscious impulses toward the realization of that goal. And the evidence is springing up all around us. Thank you to the internet and the democratization of information, because now we can look at the parallels of this knowledge and confirm that it is true. But even all of the books you could possibly read and all the videos you could possibly listen to, until you apply this knowledge in your own life and see the fruits of it, it won't bear much meaning to you. I remember when I was going to Kenya last year, actually 1 year exactly from the day that I'm recording this video, because right now it's April 1st. I was flying to Kenya. When I got to the airport in New York, they asked for all my information, and I had everything: my passport, vaccination card, the other vaccines I needed to take for like yellow fever. I had all my stuff except a visa. And if I didn't get a visa, they told me that if I got on the flight, when I got to Kenya, I'd be deported and I'd never be allowed to go back to Kenya again. This was very disheartening because I wanted to see my girlfriend in Kenya. And to think that I wouldn't be able to see her tore me apart. So I bought another ticket for the next day, and I determined myself to apply for another visa. It was only after I bought the second ticket for the next day that I realized that the application I put in for the visa, on the website, they said that it would take 5 business days for it to be approved. And last year, it was a Friday, so that means I wouldn't have got the visa till next week. Imagine how much I was sweating. Imagine how frustrated I was. I bought a $600 one-way ticket to Kenya, and I wasn't even sure if I was going to be able to get on the flight. And if I didn't get the visa that night, I wouldn't have been able to get on the next flight. So, I determined, if this imagination creates reality stuff is really real, let me apply the technique that I know and see if I can manifest this visa tonight. And I did. I did do it. I manifested that visa the exact night. Although their website said it would take 5 business days. Although it was the beginning of the weekend. I did a simple technique where I imagined myself in the Airbnb that I had already bought that was in Kenya. And I imagined that New York was 7,350 miles away from me. And in my meditation, I imagined myself so vividly in that state, I fell asleep in the meditation. And then I got up, I did another meditation where I imagined myself in the exact same place. And then I noticed my desire to do the meditation faded. I ended up calling the embassy around the time I stopped the second meditation to ask them about my visa. And I was pleasantly surprised to hear an angry man talking to me who was in Kenya, asking me why I was calling the embassy or wherever the visa place it is, whatever. And he was like, "Why are you calling me, sir?" So we've already given you your visa. This was the best thing I could ever hear from an angry person. I've never been so happy somebody was mad at me. I got my visa. I got it that night. See, wherever your imagination is, you will also be there physically. But the key is to feel the reality of it and feel it while you're in a state akin to sleep. To feel the reality of it as you go to sleep. And as you do this, you like the moth to the flame. You become the flame. You become the feeling of what you want. And that's what I did. And that was my first real big manifestation where I realized, okay, this is real. Wow, I did that. Because every time you manifest something, it always happens in the most natural way. You begin to think that it would have just happened anyway. You begin to think that it was just a coincidence. And it's only until you manifest something against all odds where you realize, no, I created this. My mind created this. So, for you, this means you must try it before you judge it. Try it to the extreme. Imagine yourself in a state that implies that you have what you want, and then feel that reality as you go to sleep. You'll find yourself moving across a series of events that will lead up to the realization of that exact feeling. Take care.